for catching our last video and our intros. We appreciate the love.
Yes.
We had so much love, and it was so funny because I kept telling people how socially awkward I am, and they were like, "Oh, I couldn't even tell," and I'm like,
"Yeah, you were talking a lot."
But see, that's how you knew I was socially awkward, because the more I talk, that's how you know I'm completely in an awkward moment. So today's topic, and actually the next a couple of videos, will actually be about relationships.
Ooh.
Kiki, do you love me? Are you riding? Anyway. So, this episode will be actually about romantic relationships, and so obviously we can only tell you guys from our perspectives based on our status and our past status. And so we're just gonna jump right in and just talk about relationships. What is the L in that? Relationships. Anyway, so we're just gonna talk about who we're dating and not dating and in relationships.
I'm not dating.
It's like
I'm single.
She's living
single in a 90s kind of world. I'm glad I got my girl.
Keep your head up.
That's right.
So yeah, so we're just going to talk about our relationships and kind of some of the things of how to navigate during dating relationships and marriage when you're in your 30-something. So, ready to jump on in, Miss Single?
Let's do it.
Ready to mingles?
I am ready
with the
to
right
mingles.
ones.
Yeah, with the right ones. Where are y'all right ones?
So, obviously, we've already stated your status.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been single?
11 years.
I actually have no comment. I'm mad at the way she said that. But Tina has been she's a really like A type of personality, really focused person. And when she gets really like into something, she goes full force. And so it hasn't been like 11 years of just like not out there. Well, I guess technically it has.
It has been.
But it hasn't been because you've been just like, well, no, you have been just like dodging bullets. Like, you've just been like,
There are a lot of bullets out here. Like,
what is that? What is the defense? What is, I don't know, sports. What is that? What is that? Blocking.
I don't know what that is.
Anyway, just disregarding any of that. So let me get out of your conversation about your status. Anyway, so tell us about your love life, girl.
Right now it's just me and the Lord. And
did you know that there's a book called Jesus? I can't be in a relationship with Jesus. No, Jesus can't be my boyfriend or something. It's a book
that makes sense though.
Yeah, I'll have to. I can't date Jesus. That's what it is. I have to find that book. Go ahead.
That makes the most sense.
Yeah. Why do you think it's been 11 years? Let's talk about that.
You know, I used to say it's because I don't get out much. And I don't get out much. I'll be honest.
Maybe that's what I was trying to say about like, yeah, okay, go ahead.
I go to work and church and sometimes the gym. Lately, not so much the gym.
We're going to change that. We don't have a body issue.
We are.
Shout out Lynetta.
Lynetta, you coming, Bill? We about to get fit in our 30s.
Oh, girl. I know.
Anyway, I don't get out a lot. But you know what? The more I thought about it, the more I was like, that can't be it. I mean, people have met their spouses at gas stations, grocery stores. I go grocery shopping sometimes, you know. I still haven't met it.
It's true.
So, and I definitely put gas in my car. So, you know, I don't know, like, if it has anything to do with my not getting out so much as it does with my past. And that's something that I have slowly been, I don't know if the word is reconciling or unpacking. Okay. I was in 2 really destructive relationships back to back 11 years ago. So I think like I took a break calling it healing, and in the process of healing, I started hiding. So it wasn't so much. It was more so like just protecting myself, and I put up all these walls and nobody could get in. So right now, the Lord and I are working on my tearing down all these walls. And I'm being a whole lot more open to dating different guys and different types of guys. And just seeing what happens. But, you know, for a while I was just kind of stuck inside of my own little world, and I wasn't allowing anyone to get in. And that, you know, that's not any of, well, some guys, like, it was your fault. I wanna say that very clearly. Some of y'all are crazy. But some of you were nice, and it really wasn't your fault. It was just, I was just hiding because I didn't want to get hurt again. So yeah, so this is growth for me. I'm growing. Growth. You have a very different story.
I do.
You met your spouse when you were 3.
Again, she just giving me little shout outs because I'm only 12. So yeah, so she's very correct. I met my husband very early in life, in theory, I guess. Well, I guess not in theory. It's been 2 years. So just to give a little, I mean, we kind of talked about it before, but like we couldn't really quote unquote have like real relationships when we were younger. So I didn't really start dating and having real boyfriends, like actually going on dates, until I was out of high school. So there's that, which is very interesting. So shout out to all the parents out there. Just know getting some experience, is healthy experience, is always good for anyone, and you can control that within some sort of bubble. Yeah. So we're just gonna leave that as is, and we're gonna get back.
I'm not gonna say nothing. My mama is watching this. I'm not even gonna go there.
So, yes. So I didn't really start dating until I was out of high school, and that was in the mid 2000s, so like 2004, 2005, and that was an interesting time to start dating. Let me just say that. Let me just say there's so many throwback jerseys, so many Air Force Ones that you can really see.
Give me 2 pairs. I need 2 pairs.
'Cause I get stuffing in my Air Force One. Big boy, stuffing in my Air Force One. I think I wanted a relationship when I was younger so bad, just because it was like, you're a teenager, like you want a relationship. That there were, I wouldn't even say I dated these guys, but there were guys that I talked to that were probably they weren't even worth a breath. But I did entertain them, and it was probably pointless. I think I learned from me being like, I don't want to say out there, like just allowing them to come into my life. It was pretty pointless. But I I had my first few real relationships, first part of college. There were some needy ones and not so needy ones that probably didn't even care if I was on this earth. I don't even know how I live, because I don't. Anyway, so yeah. So there were a few relationships that were just pretty kind of dysfunctional. They didn't last long. It was what it was. But I had a pretty serious relationship that I actually like to say, and my now husband actually likes to tease me because I like to say that I was pre-engaged, and what was that even, and silly.
He gave you a key.
You know what? And we're going to leave it at that. He's a good guy, and he grew into be an even better person, but we're just at really different points of our lives, and it just wasn't healthy. And so we ended that relationship, and I was about 20, and I was like, shout out to, and matter of fact, can we pause right now? Pause. This is where I need all of the parentals, my parents, your parents, to stop watching. You guys are going to continue to watch, so I'm just going to continue to censor myself. No. really nothing bad. But this is when I went through my phase where I was like, you know what, Tanisha, you never had a chance to just like go out and date, to just date. And so I just dated. And it was funny because at that point I would bring, because I never had that experience when I was younger of bringing guys home to like meet my parents, I brought, and I don't want to say everybody because it wasn't that many people, but anyone that I even talked to, I'd be like, oh, you need to come meet my parents. There was no reason why they needed to come meet my parents. And it was actually a point where my mom was like, I don't need to meet everybody.
Oh,
she did. I remember she said that. I was like, you're right, girl. You don't need to meet everybody because everybody's gonna stay in my life. So
that's funny. And you and I had very different experiences because you didn't date, and so you were like, okay, let me try it. Whereas I was like, well, I haven't dated and I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just gonna go to school and get my education and go to work and then go home. And like, I met no one in college.
And she went to a much larger university than I did, and I went to a university that was that big. And so really I worked, when I say I worked a lot. I think we all really just worked and went to school a lot. So a lot of the guys that I met I met them through work, internships, just because we went out, but we didn't go out. So it wasn't like I was just like out at the bar every weekend and like, oh, let me meet this dude, let me meet this. No, it was literally I either worked. Matter of fact, every person I either went to school with or worked with them. That was it. Anywho, so long story short, before I met my husband, that was kind of more of my moment of when I was just like dating to date, and it was like let's go and hang out or whatever, and it was cool. Then I met my husband, and we were 21. Yeah, 21 going on 22. And we dated for 5.5 years. And then he proposed.
That was the longest 5.5 years for me, y'all.
And the funny thing is like now, like being in it, I think back and I'm like, oh my God, it was forever. It was like the longest period ever. But now I like look back, and yes, it was long, but I also look back at the fact that we were 21 when we started dating. Like, and I guess it's kind of going to go into some of our other topics, but I'm 32 now. Like, am I 32? Mm-hmm. Okay, because I keep forgetting how old I am. 32. And it's like, obviously, I'm not the same person I was when I was 31 or 21. And so I'm not even the same person I was when I was 31. So I realized that we both had a lot of growing up to do. And technically, we still have growing up to do. And I'm grateful for the time that we waited.
But do you think that's more of a cultural thing? Because there are those who are not our skin tone that will get married right out of college, 20, 21, 22 in college, getting married, and they're fine, like I feel like it's our people with our skin tone.
She means that. She's being politically correct. And shout out, we have our friends and all of our our backgrounds. We have all of our friends are of all shades, all creeds,
all colors, all sizes, all shapes.
So y'all get it. Obviously we're gonna come from our perspective, and our perspective is black and 30. So we're not excluding anyone, because the reality is we all can identify. But obviously we're gonna come from a black side of the conversation. Mm-hmm. So in terms of that question, do we think that it's a cultural thing? I think that most women want to get married, especially if they're in relationships that have been since they're they first got to college, or late teens, early 20s. They feel like they're ready to get married. I think for men, and I don't know if this is part where I don't know if it's a cultural thing, because I think men, and I can't speak I think men just want to sow their wild oats or whatever that whole saying is. But I think for black men, I don't know. Like, can we get a man to respond to this?
Some sort of perspective. I need a male perspective.
We need a male perspective. I don't know if it's a cultural thing, because I think there are a lot of black men out there who want to be more than a statistic, and maybe it's fear that that halts them.
Of what, though?
Of failing?
Of a marriage failing.
Mm-hmm.
But that could be anybody.
I mean, I know. You know that. But I don't know. But I mean, I think that's a good conversation. So we are going to start adding questions for you guys to follow up, or like send responses in. So maybe that can be an early question that we have that continues or keeps this conversation going.
Because I understand wanting to make sure that the person you marry is going to be riding with you forever. You know, nobody wants to get a divorce. And I don't think anybody gets married with the thought of, oh, I could get a divorce. I don't think that's on the forefront of anyone's mind on their wedding day. I hope not, anyway. But
it's a waste of money, y'all.
Yeah.
Weddings are expensive. I started off as a wedding planner. They're expensive. Go ahead.
I understand wanting to make sure you're with the right person, but waiting for 6, 7, 8 years. I mean, you got grown 45, 46-year-old man walking around, been in a relationship for 10 years.
But see, I think that's different. I think that's more of people who don't want to actually get married.
But that's a lot of our people.
So your question is less of why wait that long. It's why do people not want to get married?
What do our people?
What do our people? Our skin folk. Our kinfolk. I think that still goes into play of people not wanting to end up as a statistic. And I really think that people, potentially men, think that there are just options out there. And it's easier.
Did you think wanted to sow his wild oats?
I don't know. I mean, not to put his business out there.
Yeah, I probably should have said his name. Put that out.
In terms of my husband, I think that he lived a whole life before me. Even though we were still young, he lived a whole life. He dated when he was in high school. He had, he had experiences. It was more on his part where he was worried that because I didn't date when I was in high school, and I only had that time period of those years in, the first part of college, because we really didn't start dating until our senior year of college. So he felt like in those 2 years he was like, oh, is she ready? Even though it was those years plus the 5.5. And of course I was like, put a ring on it. Co-workers were like, you can't come back to the country. Oh, we went on a trip. Not like they were going to deport him. He was born in the United States. I mean, with this administration, you never know. This was pre-Trump. But yeah, I think it was more of making. I feel like for people who do, for people who do want to get married, it's more of a fear. I think it's more of a fear or protection element that makes people wait, because I feel like they want to see that true person. And honestly, we can poll our other married people out there. Marriage, it's different. People ask what is so different about it. It just is. It just is. I think what's important to know about marriage is that when communication is strong, when trust is there, and I don't even want to say when you're with the right person, it's when you have all of the things that God has prepared you to be as that person's person, it's really good. It's worth it. You're gonna have hills and valleys. It's gonna be tough. But I think at the end of the day, marriage is when you do it with the right person. It's completely worth it, and I can't wait for you to experience it.
Oh, thanks.
You will. We're claiming that. Jesus name. On the other side, what do you do, like in this time for you right now? So you're single, obviously. You want to be married, and not like you want to date somebody tomorrow and be like, so you better propose to me 2 days from now. But you are more like in the sense like you know that you were meant to be a wife. And so what do you do in terms of quote unquote finding someone? And what has changed for you in the last few years?
What has changed for me is I've gotten offline. Like, I had a whole lot of online dating apps, and I don't know, like I just didn't have the best experiences with those dating apps, y'all. Like, and it's crazy because all my coworkers like most of my coworkers met their spouses online, and I'm like, but,
and this is kind of going to go into some of the other stuff that we'll talk about later. Issa Rae said it best.
What did she
Black
say?
women and Asian men have the hardest times on the dating apps.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
sorry, Asian guys. But
well, but okay. So, what about like your level of expectations?
I don't feel like, here's the thing, people would tell me like my expectations were high. I didn't feel like my expectations were high.
I said they were. Past tense. Were.
I still don't feel like they were. I feel like, here's the thing, I never ask anything from anyone that I don't expect of myself. So if I'm like,
you ain't tall. I'm sorry. We were real professional for a long time, and now it's just.
But it's more so about character than it is about physical traits. But
I say that's your growth, because back in the day,
I prefer tall guys. I won't like deny that. Like, I want you to be tall. I don't want our kids to be 4 foot. Like, I'm pretty short, so I need you to have
very short.
Some sort of height on you and some sort of girth. Is that the right word? Girth?
What are you talking about?
Width?
Because girth can mean other things, Tina.
I need you to be bigger than me.
Can you stop doing these motions? Because what girth could mean is a bad explanation for those hands.
Thickness. Stocky.
Oh, thank you. Cut out all the stuff before that.
Oh.
Your mama's watching. Hey, Mama Sharp.
Anyway, but as far as character is concerned, because here's the thing, like, I have not just dated or been in relationships with like tall people. Like,
you actually haven't.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, and I'll say this too, a lot of married women that I talk to, their husbands were not their type physically. And I'm fine with dating someone that's not my type. Tall, light skin, dimples, light eyes.
Dang it. Light eyes.
Light
I didn't even remember this.
Remember the light eyes? I love light eyes. Ugh. Straight teeth, white teeth.
No, I think that's fine. But I mean, because they can have a gap.
I don't mind gaps.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think about that, but I don't mind them.
Okay.
So, anyway, that was my type physically, but I never really dated. I dated one guy that was, that looked like that. And so everybody was all like,
5'7" and below. Oh, we weren't describing everyone. Oh, okay. Continue.
My thing was more so character. Like, our characters don't mesh. And I also think it has a lot to do with just what you find valuable, there are some things, I guess, like a core value, I would say. For me, church is a big part of my life. Like, is it necessary? No, it's not. But it's a big part of my life. I want my husband to be there. I want to.
What you mean it's not necessary?
It's not necessary to necessarily be a Christian.
Really?
To know the Lord.
Oh, but being open is.
What you mean open?
Being open to becoming a Christian? What are you saying?
What are you saying?
So what do you mean it's not a requirement?
It's not a requirement to be a Christian, to be saved.
Okay. But you want them to be open to being saved, right?
I want them to be saved.
But it said, you just said it.
What are you saying? I want them to be saved. But you don't have to go to church to be saved.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But I want you to come to church. Like, that's just what I want.
Okay.
So, for me, that's
I thought you were saying it wasn't a requirement to be saved.
No. No.
That's why I was the confusion.
No, you need to know the Lord. All this, I'm spiritual. Demons are spiritual. So, first of all, do you believe that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior? Have you accepted him into your heart?
I did. Should we pause? Everyone,
for all this other stuff,
if you were ready, please come to the altar.
All this, I'm on a higher plane and all that nonsense. No.
It's fine, guys. She thinks I'm in the Illuminati, so. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not in the Illuminati. I definitely don't make enough money to be in the Illuminati.
But we will.
What?
Through YouTube.
Oh, I was like, wait, why are we getting the Illuminati? No. You can do
We'll
it.
make money.
I was about to. So anyway, yes. So it is a requirement to be saved, but they don't have to be church like.
Right.
Oh,
right.
okay.
But I want you to be. So for me, that's like a core value. Even though it's not like a core value to somebody else, going to church is a core value for me. So I think it depends on what you feel is necessary. I know people who are different religions altogether that are married and have been married for years. And it's like, oh, that is interesting. How does that work?
Yeah. But you know what, though? I think that also, it requires, and I think this goes back to any relationship and to anyone. I think at the end of the day, you have to, and you and your spouse, you and your partner need to be open to what their lives have been before yours and what yours have been before them, and seeing how those experiences truly make that person them, and what they can do or what you can do for each other to make each other better. Like if one of you grew up in the church and the other one didn't grow up in the church, like if that person who didn't grow up in the church is like, oh no, that's your thing, like that's not, like you're not going to, like that's literally being unequally yoked. And so it's things like that, and even beyond the church, like even if it comes to eating habits, like if one person is goes hard on fast food all day every day and the other person's a vegan, like if you guys can't come together and be able to experience, maybe so much like not both ends, because obviously the vegan isn't probably gonna be like, yeah, let me hit up McDonald's and get a quarter pounder or whatever it is. But being able to be like, okay, this is you out in those McDonald's streets. Let me show you. Hey, meet me at the McDonald's parking lot. Nivea. Shout out Nivea. This obviously is the shout out episode. But yeah, like if if that other spouse is open to trying new things, like that obviously strengthens y'all's relationship, and that strengthens the ability for each other, or for you guys to be able to come together on your differences. Because I think that's a different thing, and I think this is where me and my husband, have the ability to grow more, and have been able to grow more. Is that at the end of the day, we are two completely different people, like. Very different in terms, like he's, one thing we both agree on is music. Well, we love that everything that is music, but our musical tastes are very different. Even though I'm not gonna put him out there like that. He used to love Taylor Swift. I don't know why I'm whispering this now. It's okay.
I used to love Taylor Swift.
But he messes with Blake Shelton. That's his boy. He is country though.
Blake Shelton.
I fool with Blake Shelton. But no, my husband is country. When it means like city meets country, like he is. Even though he's still like city compared to like how country it could be. So, but yeah, so we're just very different. But I think it's embracing those differences and opening yourself up to those opportunities to grow more.
Yeah, like meeting in the middle, especially if it's important. the other person.
Hearing and seeing where they're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Because if not, it'll be hard.
Because a lot of guys would tell me, well, no, I don't go to church. All pastors are snakes. All preachers are snakes. And it's like, well, that can't be true. There are too many churches and too many pastors for all of them to be snakes. Furthermore, you haven't been to church since you was 10. So, what do you know?
You're just going on by hearsay, or like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing?
So, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, but okay, so let's get back to, because we went on a whole tangent.
Yeah, I don't even know where we were. Expectations.
So you said making sure that you don't, per se, stick to a list.
My thing, more so, is about character, and like if our characters mesh. And a lot of the time, when people try to hook me up, they'll say, you should like this. You should like him because of this and that and the other. And then this person's character is garbage. And I'm just like,
basura.
Oh dear.
We bilingual.
Like, what is going on? I think like people want me to like a certain type, and I'm just like, especially now at 32, like I waited this long. I need to wait for the man I've been waiting for.
And I also think it's like this level of like people really want, I think people have good intentions, right?
They do.
And then they just like throw anything at you. Because I've seen some that they've thrown at you, and I'm like, maybe not. I'm gonna let you try, girl. I'm gonna let you try.
Yeah.
So, but I think that goes into like a good conversation of like what, like that, like not even say values, but like potential, and like, do you just like, oh, maybe even if the person isn't like, I don't want to use the word ugly, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Mm-hmm. And everybody ugly is somebody.
Let me tell you, that is a 32-year-old like statement. That's a grown statement. It's a real adulting statement. So then it's like, what do you feel like would be something that you would maybe like not budge on, but like you would allow yourself to like see the person for their potential?
That's a tough one, because I do not like that potential thing. I don't like it. I'm sorry. Like, and
it's different.
It's always women. Women are always told like, well, just give him a chance. Look at Michelle and Barack. She saw his potential and blah, blah, blah. But you know how many Baracks are out here in this world? Not that many.
And you also have to, so I like have this teeter-totter thing with potential. Because I do think that people obviously have the potential to grow. Like, you should grow. But I also feel like you have to be able to bring something to the table now. Like, at whatever. And I also feel like when you're getting older, like, you ain't met your, not, and I don't want to say you ain't met your potential yet, but it's like, what have you been doing? like what have you been doing? Like, how much longer you need? Like, I feel you at 20 something, like, yes, like everyone's graduated from college or trade school, whatever it is, like they're on their hustle, they're on their grind, so you should be able to be honestly develop with someone like at that age. But when you are in your 30s, I'm not saying that you're not still developing then, but it's like you should have a game plan and not a pipe dream. Like,
that's a word.
Like, pipe dreams can't feed us, can't keep the lights on. So I do feel like, I feel you. I started, maybe this got awkward, and that's why I started that conversation at that moment, but I feel you. Like, potential shouldn't be that. But I feel like, do you feel like, okay, do you feel like that in your 20s there were maybe some men that you missed because you didn't fool with the whole potential thing?
Well, in my 20s though, like I said, in college I really didn't look at any guys. I didn't know what I was doing. So I'm sure there are plenty of guys I missed that went to my school. Yeah, so I'm sure there are plenty that had potential, and I missed them entirely because I wasn't paying any attention to them. But after college were the guys that I missed that had potential.
And obviously they weren't meant to be. I mean, eventually they'll come back into your life if so, but
yeah, I don't think so though.
No, we're just gonna pass right through that this way. Nope, we're good on that.
And I was like really strict. Like,
I already knew what she was gonna say. Hopefully you saw my eyes as I was coming up.
So I have mellowed out a little bit more now in my 30s. Not saying I'm just settling for whatever. That's not what I'm saying. But I have calmed down a little bit because I was a little uptight. So I can admit it.
Can you see the blink? Can you see the blinks? Okay, so I think this is a good, like, I don't even want to say pausing moment because our conversation will continue, but I feel like we've had a conversation about expectations, we've had a conversation about potential, and I feel like this is where our largest debate comes from that we didn't even know existed. Can you see the tension forming? Can you see us both leading out, leading away? So I think a good person or a few characters that inhabit this whole conversation are a love triangle from the best 90s series. Which obviously, like, it was so inspirational. Like, this series was so inspirational that neither one of us went to HBCUs. But I applied and got into one. I just didn't go. Yeah, my whole life would have probably... this whole conversation probably would have been different. I actually have almost their colors, too. Spell. Yeah, I would have been a smell woman, but I didn't. And it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, go Northwood. What? What is that?
Where's that?
What is that? What is that even? Like, anywho, but yes. So one of the best shows back in the '90s, yes, was none other than A Different World. That show, y'all, I watched it as a little kid. I rewatched all the reruns whenever they came on, but then like maybe a few years ago I rewatched it as an adult, and like rewatching it I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, obviously when you're young you sleep on so many of those scenarios and situations, but the biggest thing that really stood out to me, I mean, I always loved Dwayne Wayne and Whitley. I thought he was more annoying when I was younger, but the older I got, I mean, not that he wasn't, because he was annoying when they were really young, but I really loved their love. And this is where, and matter of fact, this is how a lot of our conversations came up, because I was rewatching like every episode. Shout out to you, Amazon Prime Video, is that what it's called? Video Prime, whatever, for having the whole series up because everybody else took it down. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's not. It is their fault. It is your fault. How dare you, Hulu, Netflix, take it down. Yeah. Put it back up. Anywho, after I just threatened all the streaming services, hey, please don't like lock me out of my services. Like, oh no, I gotta go. I cut the cord. I'm trying to be like a for real millennial and cutting the cords and stuff. So, anywho, this is not what the debate is about.
I'm glad you brought that up though. I was trying to get on ABC Go. Did you change your password?
Girl, no, I don't have. I cut the cord.
You like really got rid of it.
I don't stream.
Not that I was using any of her stuff.
She was. She was like, "Hey, girl, let me get your password one more time." Yeah, no, because I really want to watch that whole Trayvon Martin documentary.
I did too.
Yeah. So, but I don't. Yeah, no, we cut the cord off of cable. So hey, if you guys know a good streaming service to be able to watch. Okay, so these are the stations that I need. I need BET, I need TV One, I need Lifetime. Oh my gosh, we need to talk about the TV series that you refuse to get on.
What?
Married at First Sight.
Oh,
that's here in Dallas.
I can't get on that.
I know, but we need to talk about that after we finish recording.
Okay.
Okay, so what I say, BT, TV One, Lifetime, VH1, what's another? Fox. I need FX specifically. Ooh, especially because American Horror Story is coming back on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Insecure is coming back.
Yeah, well, I can just get HBO as a subscription, but I cannot wait tomorrow. Even though you guys will probably see this a few weeks from now.
Yeah.
So catch up. Insecure. Anyway, none of this was. Oh yeah, if you know, it's streaming, but none of this whole episode was supposed to be about us discussing our TV,
all that stuff.
Yeah.
We're back.
So back to different worlds. So this one.
That's right, me.
Believes that Whitley should have been with Byron.
I do.
Byron.
I do.
Why?
He made her a better woman. He made her grow up.
Are you in a for real political debate right now?
It's just how I feel. I feel like you should be with people that make you better. He made her better.
So why did Dwayne?
She was childish with Dwayne. She was childish.
Let me know when it's my ding. You ready to ding?
I mean, all that whining. It was like, girl, are you 12? Are you 21? What is happening? I could not stand it. I couldn't stand it.
You done?
Mm-hmm. But I'll say some more things later. But good.
So I agree with you. She should be with someone who made her better. Let me tell you, Byron was a Band-Aid. Byron, yes, he quote unquote made her better, but she was not completely satisfied with that man. She wasn't. You can watch it. Watch her run off to Pookie so quickly. You don't have nothing to say. Dwayne.
I'm just gonna let you finish. I have plenty to say.
Dwayne, it wasn't even so much that he made her quote unquote
whiny brat. Oh, go ahead.
Thought you was going wait. It was so much that he quote unquote made her better, but what he did was he gave her space to grow up. Whitley, if Whitley would have stayed with Byron, they would have been doing a reunion episode in the late 90s, early 2000s, and you know what would have happened?
What would have happened?
She wouldn't have not known herself. She would have lost who she was if she would have stayed married to Byron.
Who she was?
Run tell that.
Was a whiny.
No. No. I'm saying she would have lost, because you think about it. She is no different than how old I was when I met my husband. Right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
When she was with Dwayne, he allowed her to grow. Byron had a quote-unquote expectation from her as a senator and what she was supposed to be as a senator's wife.
Okay,
I'm going to let you talk now.
What was wrong with that? What's wrong with having that expectation?
But what if that's not who she is?
See, that's the problem. That's where it comes into play. This is the issue I have, because people will say, well, she wasn't herself with Byron. She wasn't herself. And listen, I understand all of that. However, you should become a better person with whomever you're with. I don't know people who go back to their exes and become better.
No, well...
No, I'm telling the truth. You don't go back to your ex and become better. You go back to your ex because it's familiar and it's comfortable, and you can fall back into the same trash bag y'all was in before.
It's real sweet. I didn't even get in a basket.
No, it's trash. It's trash. I don't think I know people who went back to their exes and got married, but they got divorced after. So,
Willie and Dwayne didn't.
I bet they did.
I bet you did. with you.
I don't think going back to your past is ever a good idea.
But if you look at it, she wasn't that far removed.
And that's another thing. And we were talking about this earlier with Insecure. Yes. Lawrence is not coming back to the sea. I don't even know if y'all watch Insecure. I'm sorry. Lawrence.
Oh, you better. It ain't nothing but what, 2 seasons now?
Yeah.
It's what, 8 episodes?
You can catch
up. They're 30-minute episodes, because trust me, you better off watching them back to back now, because if you watch them live, you're going to be like, for real, it's the end of it this quick? What's the rest of the episode?
Yeah, you're going to be upset.
It's so good.
But Lawrence is her ex-boyfriend, and he's not coming back this season. And Issa's explanation is because you don't really see your ex. Like, after you break up with them, you don't talk to them, you don't hang out with them. Like, they're not around. So he's gone. He's gone bye-bye. And I think that's completely normal. But in this situation, because they went to the same college, they saw each other all the time. And it's difficult to bring a new guy into a situation when your ex is right there all the time. I don't have communication with any of my exes. Like, I don't know where any of them are to this day.
It's probably for the best, for your safety.
It is. For my safety. It is
and your
best.
sanity.
Yes.
And I guess this is where, I don't know. Because Byron, are you really about to get on your phone?
There's a quote. There's a quote. I have a quote to read.
It's already been distracted because of the lights that's happening.
It says, "Stop reopening doors for toxic people and calling it seeking closure."
Okay, I mean, that's a good quote.
Stop it.
But, and this is maybe where we agree to just disagree. I don't think she would have ended up happy with Byron.
Explain.
I just don't.
Oh. So you have no explanation?
I really don't. Because, and this is, I guess my defense is, I mean, I love Dwayne and Whitley. I really do. I think they were perfect.
I read something where Jasmine Guy said she didn't even want to do that scene. Like, Debbie made her do it.
Well, baby, please. It's the best ever. Like, I'm sorry, Jasmine Guy.
Totally different. Like, that would have ticked me off.
Well, I'm sorry, Jasmine Guy. That literally is like one of the best scenes ever. But that relationship, to me, like when they were good and they were so young and childish, and to me that's where I gave them a quote unquote pass of returning to there, because I feel like they understood, because you think about it, they're back and forth happens so much. Like even Kinunu, what was her name? Kikino?
What was her name?
Kiana. Her.
Some of the key. Kimono. Like,
she had the best. Like, she was, Jasmine Guy. Whitley was so petty. She was so, like, I think about that episode when they were playing the academic like competition, and then he kissed her the night before. So that's what I'm saying. They didn't have closure. Like, none of that was done. They never.
Right.
They never had closure. But they never had closure because they were meant to be.
That's another thing I don't believe. People being meant to be.
Well, no. What does that mean now?
I don't believe in it.
So you don't think that God has somebody out there for you?
There's too many people. There's billions. That's unfair. That is unfair to me. For you to make me go through these billions of people to find the one that you made for me. No, I believe God gave us free choice to choose who we want, marry who we want, and make it work with whoever we pick. But
well, Whitley was meant to be with Dwayne.
I don't believe that.
But what I was going to say, my worry with the whole Byron situation is that, and I understand you being with someone who makes you better. Like, I completely get that. Like, you want someone, you both want to be able to give something to the relationship and give something to each other to help you grow. Like, it's nothing more beautiful than to be able to have, like, something going on in your life, whether it's work, whatever, and you to be able to bounce ideas instead of talking to a brick wall. Mm-hmm. Like, that's completely real. But what worries me, and I think this kind of goes into something else we wanted to talk about, was just being able to have space to know yourself. And when you are, and I guess this is what I saw in that whole Byron relationship, because, and not so much that he didn't give her space to grow, but it was just, he wanted so much out of his life, and that's not saying that he should not have wanted so much out of his life, that he needed this, like, he needed that cookie cutter person. And what if the Whitley that she was growing into, being only 21, 22, didn't fit that cookie cutter? Was she supposed to not grow into the person she was meant to be and only fit into this like box of what Byron needed? And to me, that was what always stood out about that relationship. Well, I said not always, but I just knew I didn't like it when I was younger. And then as I got older, and then when I rewatched it, I was like, nasty. Go ahead. What you got? And Kimberly Reese realized she didn't want to be with him either. And you know how everybody loved Kimberly Reese, them pretty teeth.
Everybody did. I loved you, Kimberly.
What do Aunt Mama say? You sure you don't want to talk about that Kimberly Reese? Nyla Bell played that part.
She did. Oh, Patty.
Anywho. But yes.
And we did talk about this. We talked about losing our identities.
Yes.
So I know we're going to go into balance in a second, just because that's where this conversation is headed.
Yes.
And I know a lot of married women who do not know who they are. And that's pretty sad, because they've pretty much given themselves wholly to their husbands and their husbands' dreams, and they've forgotten who they are altogether. I have talked to women, and I would be like, oh, what do you like? You know, somebody's birthday or something. I'm like, oh, well, what's your favorite animal? What's your favorite color? What's this? And they can't answer. And they're just like,
giraffes, baby blue, and I love music.
Yes, you know yourself.
But I'm getting to know myself. I love giraffes, y'all. Like, love them.
She does.
So, yes, not women not knowing themselves. We obviously know what we like and don't like. But I also think but I thought one of the things that I kind of mentioned earlier is that when you're in relationships, married, dating, whatever age, you have to give each other space to grow. And I think that's where most relationships get into a lot of issues, control issues, trust issues. It's because when you don't give each other space to grow from, and not even just so much like growing into an adult or growing into the person, like even growing out of your expectation, like not even expectations, but like your baggage of who they used to be. Like, let's say you've been dating for 3-4 years and they do something completely different from when you guys first started dating, and it's like maybe they're growing instead of being like, oh, you never did that before. And it's like, well, I'm trying something new here. And like sometimes when you have all of that baggage from before, you pigeonhole that person that you're dating, so that can be pretty dangerous.
It can get dangerous.
Okay.
I don't feel like that was the case with me.
No, well,
I just don't. Furthermore,
she would have ended up just like her mama, who was unhappy.
I can't tell if Dwayne was sincere. You're in the middle of somebody's way. You have watched this whole thing play out and you've said nothing until the evening before.
He didn't know. He was young and dumb.
I mean, how many times are we going to use that excuse for their behavior?
Well, technically, only once since 1990, what? 4, 3? I mean, 2? Like, I don't even know what year this happened.
Still, though, I can't. It seems more like petty jealousy. You said Whitley was petty, calling Kimono, Keanu, all these names. Like, it was just petty.
No, their early relationship was really petty. Like, definitely. But also, to me, what really strengthened my love for them was when they did, like, once they moved into their house. Like, that's when they started being, like, adults. I mean, they're still really young now. Like, looking back, I'm like, dang it, y'all were married at, like, what, 22, 23? I could not have imagined being married at 22, even though I was in a relationship. Like, it's just like you're still really young, like, and figuring life out. Anyway,
see, that's the thing. You'd have to figure it out anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
you had to figure it out anyway.
It's true, but
y'all were just older.
We weren't that old.
I mean, you were just older.
Like, still in my 20s.
Yeah, but still.
Ouch. I mean, y'all was just ancient.
Merging lives with anybody at any age.
It's tough.
Like, you have to figure it out.
But, what was I saying?
No.
Oh, what made me love their relationship even more is once they did, like, they both went through these weird career phases, and to me, like, that was like, even though it hurt Whitley to wear that same pink blouse every day to that school, she sacrificed her fashion because she knew her husband was figuring out what his path was supposed to be, and the fact that she gave him space to do so, and then in reverse he gave her also that same space, and like their support, to me, I think that was the most beautiful thing ever. What you got?
She should have been with me.
Alright, girl. So can we also talk about another couple that Tina also disliked?
I hated this show, so technically.
No, let me clarify. You can't hate something you never actually watched, because
I did.
Technically you
I watched
weren't
like
allowed.
a couple of episodes when I was older.
First of all, you can't watch a couple of episodes of the show.
Yeah,
you have to watch all the episodes, because the storyline doesn't make sense when you just jump in and watch a few episodes.
It was just terrible.
I mean, it's still hilarious, but the storyline just doesn't, because you can't jump into the episode where he done ran away and half of his hair is braided and the other half isn't. You can't do that.
Do you hear that though? That's so idiotic.
So if you can't watch, you can't watch the episode where the anniversary happened whenever Nicole kept bringing them girls through the house. So you probably figured it out at this point. She does not like Martin. Can you go ahead and take her black card away?
I hate that show. I hate it.
Take it.
I hate it. Yeah. He annoyed the mess out of me. He's annoying. He is an irritating man.
So tell him about how you felt about their relationship.
I felt like
after 3 episodes, but go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't even know what 3 episodes. Go ahead.
She was just taking care of a child. That's how I felt. Like, he was very childish. He was very immature. And she was professional and had it together, and she was just taking care of him. Furthermore, he was bullying her friends. Like, it was just a big mess. I wish I would be dating somebody and they were just talking to you any kind of way and crazy, calling you, what did he call her?
Everything.
I would not stand for that. Like, are you kidding? I hated that show. And he was not funny to me at all. He wasn't funny. And he just walked around talking about, I'm the man. And no, you're not. You're a child. I can't with you.
So you bring up a really good point. We were taught, well, not we. I was listening to a podcast and I was agreeing with what they were saying. But they were talking about the fact that a lot of, like, how there's been a resurgence of, like, what are they, they basically are bringing a lot of these 90s shows, like, back out or whatever. Mm-hmm. So they were saying that, like, certain shows would be hard to bring back because of the tone. And misogyny in the 90s was a really big thing. And so, like, I feel you on the part that, like, Martin did feel like he was the man. He got humbled a lot. You would probably learn that if you watch some of the episodes.
Ever watch that show? I watch Frasier. I like Frasier. That's a good show.
The level of Side-Eye is so serious. This episode. This is why I ain't let her talk last time. No, but what? You made my hand itch. What?
I love Frasier.
That's fine.
That's such a clever show.
So, yeah, you would. So I do agree that the misogyny was intense in the 90s, and it was definitely intense in that show.
But even if, misogyny, okay, but also he was lying, because a real man didn't have to walk around talking about I'm the man.
Didn't Aloe Black have the song called I'm the Man? That was a good song. So
what's that got to do with if he's?
But I was saying, but you just said a real man wouldn't say he's I'm the man. You saying Alan Black ain't a real man? I mean, I don't know Alan Black.
I don't either. You could be cool, sir. Yeah. I don't know.
He's probably really nice. He seems really nice. Like
I've never seen anything.
Seems like really laid back.
I do like that song. I like the old school kind of tone.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like he didn't seem like he has any like hostility towards women or anything. So she didn't like Martin.
No, I didn't.
She didn't get to watch it when it was on, so I think that's also an issue. You try to watch it in the now when you can see the misogyny in like as a child. You just knew he was hilarious.
No, he irritated me.
You're ridiculous. So I will say that sometimes the whole Martin and Gina relationship was a little far-fetched. But I also think that it showed like how two people from different like backgrounds are able to be in a relationship. Why are your lips so like the disagreement that is dripping? Like you're like that's what you were giving me just now. But I do feel like they had a very playful relationship. Was it? Why are you looking at me? They had a very playful relationship. But I think it was cute for what it was. Like, could I have dated someone like Martin's character? No.
So why would you wish that on anyone else?
Because it was a TV show. And it was
first of all of these are TV shows. So technically, this debate is really over a fantasy.
But no, seriously though, relationship apart, that show was hilarious. I don't understand why you don't understand.
The show's terrible. It was terrible. Shanae, the dude that came through the window, it was so awful. All of it. Bro man.
From the fifth floor?
Terrible.
What? Like, I don't understand why.
It's a terrible show.
Yeah, this isn't even a debate. I'm gonna go ahead and put this one up on the social media so you guys can vote.
I don't know.
And we'll also put the debate of Dwayne and Byron. And we'll let the public decide. I mean, I can tell you guys that I already won this debate, so like
I can tell you guys that I don't care. Y'all are gonna learn real quick, like I'm that girl that's going to stick with her opinion. So
she will. Y'all, the debates we've had in our lifetime are ridiculous. Anyway, so who would you say, like, from TV shows that you watch would be like good couple goals?
So my wife and kids, Jay and
Wait. So Tisha Campbell with Martin was an issue, but Tisha Campbell would do Damon. Which one? Which one? I don't know that one.
That Wayans.
I think it's Damon. Yeah, I think it's Damon. It's okay. He was childish as well.
It was that was a totally different vibe.
Well,
and he wasn't childish with her. Well, so Martin was grown.
They were really grown. They were like grandparents at the end of that show. Like they actually were grandparents.
But the kids started off as babies, which
Junior was a dumb teenager when that show came on, and he ended as a dumb teenager.
Yeah, he was dumb.
Yeah.
They made him dumber.
Yeah.
They do that. I don't know why sitcoms do that.
Yeah.
Sitcoms. Sitcoms. Because you're sitting and watching a comedy.
Well, I'm not. Why we say that word, but so Tisha Campbell and Damon Wayans.
The Wayans.
Is a good couple goal for you, huh?
Yeah, I love them. They were cute. They were cute together.
They were
they were honest. Yeah, they were playful and they were honest with each other. Because remember when she gained all that weight, but she was really pregnant, but they couldn't say that on the show. Mm-hmm. And then he was like, "You have to lose some weight."
Okay, what's another one? That's all you got, huh?
Yeah. What other black couples are there?
You could do, I don't know why everybody's coming for Martin right now. You can do Tashina Arnold and Terry Crews from Everybody Hates Chris.
Oh no, she was scary.
What's another? I don't know who my couple goes. I mean, I really do love Dwayne and Whitley.
Pick another couple.
Okay,
Pick another
so
one.
another couple would be TV show. There's not a lot of strong relationships on TV these days. Oh, I don't even know how I forgot about this one. Randall and what's his wife's name? Off of This Is Us. Oh.
I never watched that show.
What?
But he said he wakes up with coconut.
Yes! You better, Randy, you better tell them.
I remember that.
Oh, yes. Their banter, they're serious but funny at the same time. Like, they have this thing whenever there's like a serious situation. I mean, this doesn't ruin anything, but like whenever there's a serious situation and they just need to not even so much laugh through it, but like breathe through it. And Randall has a lot of anxiety. He deals with like a lot because of how, like, I don't want to give up the way the show,
okay.
but he just had a lot of like stuff in his like life, and so he deals with a lot of anxiety, stuff like that. And so what kind of helps him is saying like the worst case scenario, so that way at the end of the day it's probably not going to be as bad as the worst case scenario. So they do this thing to where they like throw out the worst case scenario in one of the situations. I don't want to give this episode away. Are you going to ever watch it?
I don't know. You know, Parenthood was the last like heart wrencher for me.
Oh, and it's Parenthood. It's Parenthood. It's like, it's better than Parenthood. Like, you remember how the episodes literally were like you're literally at the edge of your seat. Like, This Is Us is like you're emotionally at the edge of your seat and you're like, you are so invested to those characters. Like, so invested. All of y'all know. But like Randall, what is her name? Her real name is Susan.
Okay.
Beth and Randall.
Okay.
They are adorable. Yeah. Couple goes for real. You know who, like, I love the support of each other. Like, and you can tell they really can be themselves. Todd and Candy.
Who are they?
Todd Tucker and Candy Burris.
Oh, okay.
I think that they have a really cute relationship, like in the sense of them just being two individuals coming together. But I also love the fact that they ride hard for each other in the face of family, like all of that stuff. But then they also, like, on a business level, they connect, and you can tell they just basically push each other to the next level.
I thought you were gonna say Tony Braxton and Birdman. Let's move forward.
Yeah.
With
No
loving
facial
and letting
touches.
go.
Yes. I think we kind of already touched on that, though.
Oh, did we?
Yeah,
Okay.
a little bit, because you just touched on that you shouldn't, like, have...
Yeah, I did say that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it then.
Somehow, I feel like we prepared better for this episode. The episode is all over the place.
How did we prepare for this and this was worse than the last time? Well, before we go, we have a poll.
Yes. We want to put a question out there for you guys for our next episode that we promise will also be well planned out, but will be really good once we record it. We hope.
I'm gonna put the little Cardi B image right here.
What is that?
Of her as a little girl going,
Oh.
because we may not.
Well played. Well played. Yeah, I mean, it's just we're going to think it's better in theory. So,
Anyway,
question.
yeah, we're issuing, what is it? A
Oh,
question.
God. Yes, so this is not, completely opposite. We have the question below us right here. So how do you guys, and we want you to either message us on Instagram, or DM us on Instagram or comment under our pictures. We'll actually probably do a post where you guys can comment there. Email us. What is our email address? Side-Eye Chronicles at gmail.com. We'll work on getting that in sync. Let's try it again. Side-Eye Chronicles.
Oh, wait.
You didn't realize it was coming that quick when I said, hey, we'll try it again. So anyway, we're not going to try it again. It's just Side-Eye Chronicles at gmail.com. I like how even when I said I wasn't going to say it again, you did. You got it. Okay, so anyway, so you can either email your response, comment your response. We're also on Twitter. Go check us out on Twitter. Use the Twitters and the birds and stuff. Oh, did we give the question?
Yes. How do you guys build friendships? Genuine friendships.
I don't think we actually gave the question.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I don't
I
think
thought you did.
I don't know. We're tired. It's rainy. I just want some sweatpants and a big t-shirt. And what should I watch on Netflix today?
Frasier.
The actual question was, how do you build meaningful friendships at our age? So late 20s, well, we're not late 20s, early 30s.
But you may be, so.
Yeah, somebody out there. Destiny. I think she's the only 20-year-old I know.
I know plenty. I work with a lot of them.
Oh, yeah. I used to work with Destiny, so I guess she counts.
She does.
Yeah.
You count, Destiny. You matter.
You met, girl. You are seen. LA was great.
LA was great.
It was a lot of fun. Shout out to the LA crew. Chetty P.
Mia.
I was like, are you going to give a real name? Okay, Chesley Prince. Shout out BFF. Okay, so we are going to add a new segment. A segment. We just talk. So we will add our side eye of the week, month, whatever, however long in between we record. So side eye, and we wanted to obviously sort of be on topic. So I guess my side eye, based on the topic that we had, would be for obviously when you're married, living, breathing, single, whatever, people give advice because they feel like giving advice, and it's fine because I probably give my friends unwanted advice all the time. Right?
Do you give me advice?
No, I just stopped talking to you about things after a while. That might be a bad thing to say for.
Or maybe you do and I don't listen.
I think it might be the latter. Might be a good combination of both. Anyway, so advice. I guess my side eye would be like when people have they think that they really know who you are, meaning like it would be like, I've known Tina for so long, and then for me to be like, oh, this is advice that you have to take because I know you so well. Obviously there are things about Tina I still don't know. People giving advice when they just really, either they don't really know the circumstance or they just jump right on in, and it's like, you don't know me, you don't know my life, you don't know my story. Which is something you guys will probably always hear me say, because I say it a lot. You don't know my life, you don't know my story. I mean, yes, you know my story, you do know my life, and you do know me.
So I guess,
and I still don't listen to her advice. That's not true. No, I do listen to your advice. I mean, I take it to heart. I take it to heart. I mean, I put it to action.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I hear you.
I'll give you
I hear what you're saying.
I'll give you that. I will give you that. I mean, she does it though.
Not at all.
So I guess my side eye, based on this topic, is the church and the unrealistic expectations they put on single women as a prerequisite or a credential in order to qualify them for marriage. Ladies, single ladies, listen, if he loves you, he'll marry you. You don't need to know how to cook or clean or sew or iron.
And let's clarify, it's not that she don't know how to cook and or clean, but it shouldn't be a criteria. Now the cooking thing, that might be accurate. Neither one of us cooking is our ministry.
And y'all have made it work.
No, I meant you and I.
Oh!
Honey, no. What? No. can go in the kitchen and just throw things together. Me, I'm a recipe girl. But cooking is not my ministry. Like, it's not
I'm a
like,
recipe girl.
I don't wake up and like, what am I going to cook today? What?
Yeah, no. And I'm really not a sewing person at all.
I like to sew. I don't know how to, though. Sorry, this is not
I don't
about
know what
me.
that means.
I like to sew by hand.
I can sew on a button.
No,
Or
like
sew
I've
up a
actually
sock.
sewed things by hand.
Like what?
I've sewn, I've sewn a skirt. I've sewn pillows. What else did I? Oh, I've sewn beanbags. I've sewn. This isn't about me and my sewing.
All I've sewn are financial seeds to the church, and I have yet to receive my blessing.
I think so. Is your side-eye really hit the church? She loves Jesus, but
I do, and I love church too. I'm kidding. I just don't like all these unnecessary expectations put on single women, and then y'all aren't teaching the men anything. Like,
do you think that's current day? And I can't speak because okay, well.
the church is not teaching these men how to be husbands or how to be good husbands. They're training us from, I don't know, age 13 how to be good wives, but then you got these men out here.
Do you think that they're teaching them how to be good like husbands, like spiritually, but just not like, what does that like? Oh,
not at all.
Okay. Do you feel like you're attending churches that are marriage based?
Like more
Like
married couples and singles, or
no, they're certain churches have stronger ministries.
stronger? What kind of ministries?
Like different ministries. So like a stronger men's area, or maybe a stronger women's area, stronger marriage area. And we've already said we're in Dallas, so I'm gonna shout out. Like, I feel like Concord has a really strong marriage ministry, and they go at both perspectives like really well. Pause.
I will no pause.
Oh. That's a new phrase. No pause. No, we going in. Nope. It's about to go down. Go ahead.
That's great. That's great for Concord.
Right, that's what I said. That's why. Do you feel like it's a particular like church? Do you feel like
it's a lot of churches?
Gotcha.
So the old church I was at. I'm glad the pastor said this because I feel like a lot of pastors feel this way and they just don't admit it. But he got up and said he's happy for single women when we get married, but he's also really sad because once we get married, our ministry is our household first and our husband first, and that takes us away from the ministries in the church. And I feel like that's how a lot of pastors feel. Like they have all these single women working all of these ministries, and so they're not really promoting marriage like that.
They get something out of it,
Right. Anyway, that's
and
my
the
side
church
eye.
plot thickens. Oh, goodness.
I mean, I'm glad he said it. I'm glad he admitted that because I feel like a lot of pastors do that. They're just not promoting marriage at all. Then you got all these other women learning how to cook and learning how to sew and doing all this stuff, and they die. They're on their deathbed talking about a Boaz, and you're like 93. Like you about to go meet your maker now, talking about Boaz. He's not coming.
What just happened?
Because you've been involved in 10 ministries and you ain't had time for any man to see you doing anything because you've been in church serving the pastor this whole time.
There is a lady that I know who is very involved in church, and she is older. And I kind of maybe thought the same thing about that, like that for her, like, oh, like she just has been waiting for the right person. And then I really got to know her, and I realized that she's not really nice. And I realized that maybe it's just her. So it actually has nothing to do with what you were just saying. It's just like she's so mean.
She's just awful.
So maybe another thing is just be nicer. Church teach people to be nicer. I mean, you're nice. You're nice to people other than me. So
Yeah, I'm nice to everyone.
except for me.
Yeah. That was established.
Separate. I take it back. She gave me tea today.
I did. Give her ginger tea.
Yep. I feel warm.
Like Christmas.
I was gonna say something else.
Anyway, thanks for joining us.
I'm glad we ended on the same energy level and dysfunction that we started with. And we're gonna always end it with the same thing. It's gonna get better, guys. It probably won't. Oh, one more thing. And we'll edit this for it to be its own little snippet as well. Sango.
Sango!
We tagged
Where
you.
you at? We tagged you and everything.
We're gonna start just putting the disclaimer. We don't own the rights for this music.
Because I can do that.
You can?
I can.
We might just do that. But we want to be legal.
Right, like, an official.
Well, he's in a really good, it seems like a really good relationship online, so we might not like this episode. So.
Oh.
His baby's really cute. I'm telling you guys, if you don't have a chain, like, if you haven't heard it, like, his album is really good. But again, maybe I should do a music corner, because I always talk about music in here.
You should.
But no, like, the album is, so it's, I mean, he's a producer, so it's like literally just straight, I don't want to say just straight beats, but like there's music instruments and stuff in there. There's some like where he does collabs, so there's like singing on top of the music he produces. But I love this album because it has a lot of like, majority of the music on this album actually does have like a gospel influence. So he has one where he actually takes Speak to My Heart and he puts it to his own like jam, and it's good. But the song that we want to use, it doesn't actually have any instrument or have any like really any singing on it. It's just straight the jam, and it just sounds like an intro. I literally heard it and was like, oh, we should use this for something.
So, Sango, what's up, my brother?
What?
In Christ? Right? Like, is a Christian artist?
No, I don't really think he has like a specific genre. I think he's just a producer. Because I think he's like produced for like Rihanna and stuff. That's why we probably won't ever get him to respond. Oh, you didn't. Oh, you didn't. Oh, yeah, no. Like,
let's just use the song.
He's pretty big. No, like he's pretty big.
Okay.
Maybe I should explain that last time.
Yeah.
That
I didn't know that. Okay, sir. Never mind.
I think he's like completely like authentic checking everything on Instagram. So
I want that blue check on Side-Eye Chronicles.
Because there's no other.
Anyway,
you can't get this anywhere.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna end this. So tell us if you like this episode. Oh, shout out to Tina's light, because we probably would not have been able to record.
Yes, I love this little light.
So shout out to the recommendations that came from the JOB, right?
Yeah.
Shout out all of my former co-workers.
Oh. She misses y'all.
I do.
Thanks for watching, you guys.
Yes, we're done. I'm gonna go put on some pajamas, some leggings. And what am I watching on Netflix?
Frasier.
No. See the defeat in my shoulders.
Don't know what to do with that tossed
What is
salad.
that?
Scrambled eggs. They're calling again. I love Frasier.
Turn this off.